sometimes people have what it takes, but they haven't recognized it yet. Just go forward. So what do you need to do? How do you stand out? So what you need to do is be that person that's different and is bigger than you think. Rise from the ashes and fly like the phoenixes that you are. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, today's going to be kind of a continuation. We're going over basics. I want to do some Q&A. Please ask questions. I will do some technical elements. We're going to walk through Facebook basics, setting up basic stuff, looking at basic things, some of the changes that they've made. Great question, Samina. We'll talk about that. But it is, I mean, it's not formal. I don't have a bunch of slides I'm going to try and force down your throat today. So please participate, take some time and we'll look at things. So one of the first questions Samina had is when is a good time to post? So there's a couple of different ways to answer this. The only real answer in short form is it depends, and it depends on the number of things. Number one is, most of you guys should be focusing on the US as your primary audience, right? So to kind of go, if we look at, because the product's in English, every once in a while I have someone say, well, I want to do it in Latin countries, Spanish countries. That's fine, but don't wait to translate it before you launch anything. Like, you want to launch in English, it's available, it's done, ready to go. So US is your largest English speaking country with number of businesses available. That should be your biggest market. Now, it doesn't mean UK would be number two. It doesn't mean you shouldn't focus on other elements, UK, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, different parts of Europe, different parts of Africa, South Africa, etc. Doesn't mean you don't focus on those or don't also put effort into those if you want to, but the US is absolutely going to be your biggest one. So I'd do a little research. So Samina, like, what's your niche?
So my niche, therapists.
Therapy. Okay. So I would do something simple like number of therapists. I would first spell it correctly. The number of therapists by state. It's the first thing I would do. Okay. So this is saying 106,000 licensed psychologists in the US. Obviously, you break that down, you could look at different things. But
if you put complementary therapists, would that give a different type of answer? Number of complementary therapists.
I don't know. You'd have to look. Could be. But the question is how do they see themselves and how do they post about themselves and those kinds of things. But what I would do is I'd look at first this. Okay, so where's the highest concentration of therapists? Northeast US, South Florida, West Coast, California, obviously, most of California, parts of Nevada, up northwest there. So I would post at times that the business professionals in the East Coast are looking. I would post at the times when the West Coast are looking, because you're going to have a little bit of overlap with this. This is very low and low concentration in the Midwest or Middle East of the US here, right? This is average. So I'm going to post when those are more likely to be looking. So early morning before they're taking their first clients, lunchtime for them, and then evening. And then I would see which are getting better results. And guys, that question that I asked in Google, you can do for just about any niche. I always talk about research, guys. How many number of real estate agents? Now, it may not be the exact same map, but a lot of these will tell you what's going on in the market. Just do a little bit of research and then test it, right? See who's responding and when they're responding. Now, if there are certain niches, there are certain industries where 70–80% of them are in California and New York, or like those areas. Well, the way I'm going to talk with them may be a little different than the way I'm going to talk with an industry that's mostly in the Midwest, right? Different vernacular, different way of life, different images, right? It's going to be a little different. I'm speaking to my audience. Doesn't matter what I want to talk about. I'm speaking to my audience. Okay. Samina, does that help a little bit?
Yeah.
So I would do that research first for your niche, and then I would test that. So, because if I'm posting, and you guys can go look, you can look up, when's the best time to post, and you'll see all these graphs and all these different things. Like there's so many generalities when it comes to that, right?
And people give so many different things. Some will say morning, some will say evening, some will say this time. So there's
Because
always
it depends.
contradicting information. Yeah, so that's why what you said about research is really good.
Yeah, because if I'm doing digital marketers, well, a lot of them are going to be on all day long, right? If I'm going after certain professions, then Monday morning. I mean, almost any profession, Monday morning, not a good time, because nobody's getting on social media to look at stuff, right? They're starting their work week. They're frustrated with stuff. They're not going to be, if I do post early on Monday, then I'm posting something to them about how to start the work week and get over stress and, deal with the transition from weekend. Like I'm going to do something that they might go, oh yeah, I'm stressed, I need to read that, as opposed to, something about, I'm not going to try and sell them something Monday morning. Nobody's buying shit Monday morning early. They just won't. Right. So there are certain days of the week where traffic or where engagement tends to tick up. And that's what you're looking at. Well, Tom, and so that's the thing. Here's my thing, because I was a service-based business before, cleaning and restoration. What I found working with, at this point, hundreds of service-based businesses, and I'm not just talking about digital marketers, guys. I've worked with a lot of businesses. What I've learned is that service-based businesses that say that the only reason they worked word of mouth is because they never learned how to advertise. And there was always this thought of, well, if someone's going to refer me and I don't have to pay them, why should I spend money on advertising? Which is fine to scale your business to a certain extent, right? But you're never going to grow beyond that with a simple word of mouth strategy, unless you have a word of mouth strategy that's an actual strategy. So every time a customer comes in, I'm collecting a certain number of names from them. I'm following up in 30 days. I'm following up in 60 days. I'm giving them some kind of bonus if one of their referrals does something. If I've got an actual strategy in place, that's a strategy and not just, oh man, how was business this month? Oh, it was slow. I don't know why. Well, it's because Johnny that normally refers me twice a month went on vacation and I didn't get those referrals. So recently I had a construction company that I was talking to about coming on as a consultant, redoing their website, doing SEO and helping them with ads. Dad had been in business for 37 years, had always been 100% word of mouth, right? Always. And they had done millions of dollars in business. They did great. COVID, for some reason, they weren't getting any business. And a lot of what they did was commercial construction. And so he couldn't figure out, well, these commercial buildings, why aren't they doing it? Well, first off, the businesses weren't doing as much business, but it was all referral. And his son that had called me to help with marketing and advertising, consulting and things, had been trying to talk to his dad about doing paid advertising. We need to do this. No, we always do referrals. We're a referral-based business. This is what we should do. We're family owned. We get referrals from our customers. They love us. So we did a little strategy session. We did a conversation. I asked him where their business was coming from. He said, he told me. So I said, all right, so who are your top 5 referral partners over the last 5 years? And he gave me their specific, he knew them like that. Small business owner. He knew his best customers, his best referral sources. So I said, when was the last time you got a referral from John? Oh, it's been a while. Hadn't heard from him. I don't think he sent anybody my way for a while. 3 of these people. And I asked my friend, because he had, the son who had become a friend, he was the one that brought him on, and he had kind of told me ahead of time what had happened. And I said, Brandon, do you know what happened to John? Yeah, John passed away 18 months ago. What about this guy? He retired and he moved to Florida. They are up in Michigan. What about this guy? Well, his son took over and decided they didn't want to expand anymore and doing XYZ. And the dad's just kind of stopping looking, because those 5 guys made up about 60% of their business, referrals from those guys. A lot of these small business owners that you guys are working with are in that scenario, something very, very similar. They've lost the ability to network, or they never had an actual system in place to allow them to get referrals. Your job is helping them understand that there's a bridge between what they've been doing and social media and implementation. That's part of what you're doing on your page and in these groups. When they're talking about, well, all I ever did was, word of mouth. I've never needed ads before. That's great. So how did you get those? Those referrals. Oh, well, I went to his Chamber of Commerce meeting 10 years ago. Okay, so you found that one guy. Well, what happens when that changes? Are you comfortable? So you're still getting enough customers that's not an issue for you? Well, no, things have really slowed down. Well, because you may have only gone to the one meeting, but the guy that was referring business to you all the time, that was a dude that he was a network event hog, right? Like that was a dude that went to every single networking event there was, and he was handing out cards left and right. And he was handing out your card because it made him look better to his customers, and he was hoping to get their business too. So, man, he was doing a lot, and he can't do that anymore, man, because there just aren't enough events anymore like there was. Helping them understand that can help position you with a solution, because that's what you're trying to do. That's why understanding your audience becomes important, that research. Okay. So, couple of things. Let me open up my Facebook here and show you. So one of the questions, I think it was Jamie had yesterday. So when you're logged in, right, this is my news feed. I can click on my picture. Now, what it may have happened with you guys, you want to, when you're going to post, it's going to have all the profiles. So these are the different profiles. Like I can go to Andrew David and I can post as Andrew David. This is the news feed with the different businesses and stuff. But if I go to the page, that's how I'm going to be able to post now, right? Before, I could just be in my profile. I could come to the page, and before I posted, it would say, are you wanting to post as yourself, or are you wanting to post as the business page? Now you need to change your profile up here. So you can go back to the personal. All right. So when I'm here, settings and privacy, I'm going to click on that. Let's go to settings. This is my name. This is my username. Jamie, can you see that? Okay. So you can change your username right there, guys. So if any of you guys have like the facebook.com/whatever slew of numbers there for your homepage, and you want it to be your name or something like that, then that's where you would change it. Okay. Settings and privacy. This is where we start to play with how people can find you. So if they're searching directly for you, who can share who can see what you share, profile information, posts and stories, and blocking people. So my phone number, old email, like this is one-stop cleaning. It shows you how long ago I opened this up, right? So engage, like they can see what's here, and you can make private or whatever. So you could put in work here, and you can make this different. I could say, like, so I've got Andrew David's my personal page. I could come here and I can go, all right, well, I want friends to see this, except I don't want to show my family that. Right? Does that make sense? Is this confusing? Guys, this is being recorded, so you'll be able to go back and watch it. But I can change this up. Like I had worked with BNI, Business Network International. Some of you guys are familiar with that. I worked with BNI for a while. You can come in and modify here. You can create a custom list. I don't care, but you can come in and do that, right? I can create a close friends list. I can create whatever. Okay. All right. Any questions on this?
So this, what you've just shown, Andrew, this is privacy generally on your profile page, or is it for specific posts you can do it?
Well, what you can do is you can create, so initially, this is privacy on different elements here, right? So then you can do your default audience. You can change this up to individuals, right? Stories, same thing. You can limit those that are in the past, right? So if you want, a lot of you guys are saying, well, I'm going to be doing my business, but I've got a lot of family stuff on there I don't want other people to see. So come in and limit that. I want to limit this to blah, 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 right? You can do that. Okay. So looking at that means that there's no more excuses for all this stuff. I can block list. I've got some people that are blocked, right? People that I just don't want to see anything. If some of you guys are worried about work, that might be a way to do it. Just block them, right? Don't show them. Does that make sense with everybody? Are we good there?
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah. What other questions do we have on Facebook, Facebook basics, that kind of thing? Personal versus business and all of that.
How do you get it where you get a bunch of, like, inundated with a bunch of ads in between and not just the profile that you're wanting to have on it?
For your personal page, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
Post other content.
What do you?
Are you talking about in your news feed, like that you see other people's ads, or are you talking about on
it seems
your
like
personal
every
page?
other post is becoming ads of stuff.
Welcome to social media.
So is there no way to? It just that's what it ends up being.
That's what Facebook is.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's either it gets to be more public and that's what happens, or
Well, for public, because Facebook, people pay Facebook to be in front of you, and so Facebook's going to put them in front.
As long as they're just not ads that you don't want.
If there's ads of things that you don't want to see, like this has nothing to do with you, right? Then you can, like, if I just go back to my news feed, right? And the second thing is always going to be the sponsored ad, right? So let's say that this is something that I'm offended by, or something I really like, this just doesn't make sense. Or maybe it's something that I saw before that now I see all the time. You can come here. So I can hide the ad. There's no need to report it, guys, unless it's something that's like really bad. Don't report ads just because, you don't agree with the business or whatever. Like, hide the ad so it's not valid for you. Here's something else you can do, though. Why am I seeing this ad? Can everybody see this right there? Why am I seeing this? This is going to bring me here. Capital School wants to reach people that, and they show these different things, right? So I can hide ads, but here's my ad preferences. Is everybody following me here? Yeah. So I'm on the ad. I click there. I'm going to say, why am I seeing this? And then add preferences. I'm going to click on this. This is going to show me advertisers you've seen most recently. This is going to show me who's been in front of me. Right? These are going to be a handful of them here. These are going to show me ones that I've already hidden. And here's going to be ads that I've clicked. So it'll show if I've responded to them. So over here, add preferences, add topics. Add topics are based on, so understanding what you're looking at, guys, should help you understand what your audience looks at as well. Add topics based on your activity. Brendan Burchard, United States travel. Seed, I want to say, is raising capital. So here's some other, mass media, science, trips, adventure travel,
Forest, I'm not even sure what those are. Node and Light. Rory McIlroy, maybe I looked at some golf videos. Mentorship, maybe they're just saying gender here as far as that I'm male. I don't know. But these are things that I've looked at some point. Now I can go back and delete things, right? And get rid of stuff that would change my settings in the ads that I see. These are all of the topics that I've liked or looked at. You see how many there are? Because they look at all of these are pages or things that I've seen or liked or watched a certain amount of videos or right. Now, some of them, I think I saw The Bachelorette there. No. Baby Einstein. Yeah, maybe 10 years ago. Right. So you can I don't remember Assassin's Creed at all, but you can go through and you can edit those if you want to take some time and edit those out so that you'll see less ads regarding those topics. It doesn't necessarily mean you'll see less ads overall because they're going to show you ads. They want you to see ads because that's how they make money. Facebook doesn't make money when you buy stuff. Facebook makes money when they put an ad in front of you because that's what they charge the person for. Does everybody understand that? They're not sharing in the revenue. So, I mean, if you click on it, then that's great for them because it shows that they got some kind of result. But you don't even have to click on it for them to charge the advertiser for it. Right? So, but you could go through, if you pulled out 10 of those preferences that I just scrolled through and you targeted 40 to 50-year-old men in Central Florida and you pulled out those preferences, there's a good chance it would show up on my newsfeed. Right? Now, it may tell you, hey, that's almost too specific, but that's kind of what's there. Yeah, so Carrie's saying you can grab a pop-up blocker. You can turn off sponsored ads. You can turn off sponsored ads on Facebook. That would be interesting. I didn't know they let you do it, but I keep getting that message. I'll have to check it out. But that's a good way to kind of see what it is going on with you. And then ad settings, what information is used to show me ads. So this is activity from partners, categories used to reach you. So this is what people are using to reach me. My employer, job titles, education, relationship status, away from the hometown. My family is mostly in Arizona. So everyone that's on my family, because that's a category that people can use with ads, right? So when you're looking at things, I use an Apple iOS device. I use smartphone and tablets, Wi-Fi. I'm a frequent traveler, apparently, frequent international traveler. There you go. So, they get into just about everything. Okay. So this can give you some ideas on how you can reach your audience as well. All right. What other questions do we have? Anybody else? Nothing for right now? Really? Everybody's just rocking and rolling. We got no questions at all. All right.
Hi, Andrew. I've got some questions, but I've got them on my computer and we're just driving at the moment. So will you be covering Facebook tomorrow? If I could ask you to send if that's okay.
Yeah, we'll be doing some tomorrow. So send it along.
Fantastic.
And send it to me in Skype so I'll be ready ahead of time.
Yeah, will do. Cool.
All you guys. So I'll answer some of those. We'll answer some basics and then we'll get into some content, writing content out and writing out captions and things like that tomorrow. Okay.
Excellent.
Get in there and play around a little bit with your Facebook, guys. Come in, get into Facebook. Just to show you one more time where this is. Come in here, go to settings and privacy, look, and then you kind of play into here, right? Who can see your ad preferences on Facebook, your data settings, right? So we start to play. Okay. That'll help you out. All right, guys. Got into 3 good groups. Good. Good job, Amanda. Hopefully you guys are doing that in Facebook and in LinkedIn. Be active on both platforms. Get yourself going. And then as soon as I've got dates for my guests, I will let you guys know, but I'm excited to have them on. Anthony's, he's awesome. He's got such a cool story. So I'm excited to share him with you guys. Anyway, go out, have an amazing day. I will see you guys tomorrow. Talk soon. Bye-bye. Sometimes people have what it takes, but they haven't recognized it yet. Go forward. So what do you need to do? How do you stand out? So what you need to do is be that person that's different and is bigger than you think. Rise from the ashes and fly like the phoenixes that you are.